What is up, hackers? Welcome back to another episode of Hack Crypto, where we hack all of our crypto education. If you guys are brand new here, be sure to be subscribed with notifications on for my next fire video. Now, in this episode, I'm going to be going over the state of NFTs in 2024, and it is not pretty. Now, if you're new to the space, NFT stands for non-fungible tokens. I started covering this in 2019. 2020 was really when things started popping off with COVID, and people just started flinging money into NFTs. It was a mayhem, total mayhem. And when I was at NFT NYC, right when COVID started sort of getting a rumble around the world, I was talking to people that were the early adopters of the technology and was really impressed by the builders at that point. Now, over the next 2 years, from 2020, 2021, and 2022, it became a just absolute landslide of people entering the space, people buying artwork for $60 million, and just things got insane, absolutely insane. And this was a great signal of the economy really getting frothy. So what I'm gonna do in this video is unpack where some of these top blue chip projects are today and what the volume looks like. This is ranked by volume over the last 30 days. It is just a slice over the last couple of years that these projects have been around, and just sort of checking in on to see how these projects are doing in the state of it in 2024, midway through the year. It is now July of 2024, so I'm very curious to see where these go over the next couple of years, and especially the next couple of months as the bull market really kicks into gear. So what I'm gonna do is jump onto OpenSea. If you're not familiar with that, I did a series many years ago, probably 4 years ago now, on OpenSea and some of the top projects that they were launching there. So definitely go check that out on the channel if you are unfamiliar with OpenSea. So I'm gonna dive onto OpenSea, show you guys the list of the top projects, the volume over the last 30 days, and give you a sense for where some of these projects are at. And a lot of movement has taken place over the last year or 2 years on the top projects, ones that you're probably not expecting to be the top projects. So let's jump onto their site. So when you go to OpenSea, if you just click on stats and rankings, you will get the collection stats. These are the trending top and watch lists, of course, all categories and all chains over the last 30 days. This is focused on the 30-day volume here. Now, one thing that may be a surprise to many of you that have watched my videos in the past, the last 4 or 5 years here on NFTs, is Pudgy Penguins is number one. And this is because Luca, their CEO of Pudgy Penguins, they have done an incredible job of going to market. They have basically these plush dolls that are in Walmarts all over the US, and they're attaching their game and their value of the NFTs to these plushy dolls, sharing in royalties. And it is a very powerful business that they have created. And they do a great job on YouTube, actually, of showing the behind the scenes of creating this business. And they bought Pudgy Penguins for $2 million during all the hype, when things were really just frothy and crazy. And shout out to them for doing an incredible job. We worked with them very closely when it was, I believe, end of 2021 with the sandbox. And it was very, very apparent that they were crushing it and had a lot of vision. So I'm glad and happy to see that this is number one. I'm proud to say that I've worked with them, and really excited to see that they are still crushing it, even though they are down 52%. They are still working. That's what's key here, is understanding that things are still moving, things are happening behind the scenes, and there's actual utility going on here. You can see 5,000 owners and only 1% are listed, and just massive volume here with a floor price of 10 ETH. Really, really remarkable. So shout out to Pudgy Penguins for crushing it. Next up, we have the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Now, everybody globally knows this brand. They've done a crazy good job of branding over the years, but they're down 62%, and they got jumped by Pudgy Penguins because there was just a massive lagging by Yuga Labs. Yuga Labs has basically become kind of a conglomerate. They are rolling up a lot of different projects, acquiring companies left and right. And it is really interesting to watch this play out, where people have sort of seen them as this megacorp in the space. And it's just very much shifted quickly for them. And they were creating Other Side, that is an open world game effectively. And a lot of people were upset with the release of it, but ultimately they've done a great job of consistently executing still to this day after raising 100 million plus. And one of my favorite stories about this was a big indicator of the utility early days of NFTs, and seeing friends of mine just hold on to these that were worth millions of dollars and just ride it all the way up and ride it all the way down has been quite the experience. I mean, this is there's gonna be books written about this over the next 10, 20 years, just how remarkable the behavioral finance component in this took place over 2020 and 2021. People were just throwing out millions of dollars for these things, and ultimately it was a membership. They still have Ape Fest, which is a concert. They still have a lot of different things that are utility for holding one of these as like a membership card, but they've done a great job. I know a lot of people dislike them, but ultimately they've done a good job of consistently executing despite what they're releasing and the acquisitions that they've made. Just judge projects based on the execution that they're doing. Keeping their heads down and building is what matters. They have over 5,000 owners, floor of 9.27 ETH, and sales in the last 30 days is 335. Pudgy Penguins is above them at 373. Items listed are 2%. Now, Milady, this one came out much later than both of these projects and really flung to the top of the charts here. You can see in the last 30 days, over 400 sales, 5,000 owners, and a less than 1% listed, and 64% drop over the last 30 days in volume. So still a remarkable, meteoric rise here, and I'm impressed by them. This is more of a speculative aspect. These are utility plays, 100% with memberships and access to various different components of the project. And ultimately, I think Pudgy is probably pioneering the most utility out there. So this is more of a speculative play. Very impressed by this 5.3 ETH floor. And you can see the reflection of utility in the floor prices and just the number of owners that can see that. CryptoPunks, full-blown speculation here. These are people that are just buying and holding, hoping that someone will purchase it in the future. I remember the green alien that was acquired for multiple millions of dollars during the peak, and people were just really seeing these as a status symbol. People's LinkedIn pages were changing to this. And this one, I don't really believe that this is going to be the Picasso of the internet. I don't believe that. I will be curious to see what happens over the next 10 years with this, just because no one sells these things, like at all. There's no floor price because nobody sells it. There's no transactions, which is a beautiful aspect of applied scarcity. And I think that is very important. So I am curious to see how that plays out. It is a great example of the art bubble that happened over the last couple of years, but down 49% in the last 30 days. Mutant Ape Yacht Club, you can see they sort of double dipped here, where 11,500 owners, 1% listed. So this was a mutation of the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Like, you could get potions and it would basically morph your ape. Very cool utility of when I had an ape, you could apply this potion and it would basically breed a mutant ape. So very cool concept. This, I believe, will be utilized by a lot of gaming companies over the next 20 years, and a very, very fun thing to witness, that early utility of adding something to a wallet that you currently have, and it would populate with a new asset that was unique, and they made it very fun and usable. So down 73%, 1.5 ETH as a floor. You can see 11,000 owners, much more accessible to people out there. And it was just very fun watching the mutations. So I mainly wanted to go over these top 5, but you can see here honorable mentions, Lil Pudgies. This was kind of like their version of the Mutant Apes. Mochaverse is Animocha's virtual world, giving people some utility. You can see just the bloodbath here. All this is just negative 50, 70, just really, really brutal pullback. So I'll be curious to see which ones make it. Azuki, Memeland, and Redacted, Romalio Babies. Like, some of these are just really obscure and very interesting to see all of these still around. Moonbirds was probably one of the most well-known that launched, and you can see they're just hemorrhaging at that negative 39% with 5,000 owners. Really just crazy to see all this, but this is the list. Be sure to check it out with the link below and let me know your thoughts. That is it for my high level of the state of NFTs in 2024. This is kind of a bloodbath right now. Just seeing the volume levels, people have lost interest. They're going on to the next AI project now. And this is just the nature of the Web3 space. People come and go, and it's going to happen for a very long time. That's just how this works. I've been in the space for over 10 years. I've seen many, many different people come and go. And ultimately, the ones who come in, cash out and then leave, they go on to the next shiny object, and the builders stay building. And those are the people that I like to highlight here on the channel, and the people that I like to talk to and communicate with on a regular basis. Those are the ones that you should be following. The builders, the people who don't go anywhere. They're interested in the technology, they keep building on it, and they just want to better the world using this decentralized tech. And with that said, I think that NFTs themselves stand to really disrupt a lot of different industries between social and identity and all of these really unique and powerful things. But it's important to note that this will happen in the background. This is a technology play, and this is a technology piece that is revolutionary, but it will happen in the background. You're not going to notice that you're using these NFTs. And that was one of the big takeaways from GDC that I went to in San Francisco earlier this year. I learned that obfuscation was huge. Everyone was talking about obfuscation of NFTs in the blockchain, having it operate in the background. Literally, when you would sign up, it would spin up a dummy wallet for you, and you could then claim it and activate it and use the different tokens that were getting sent to that wallet. But just obfuscating it and getting it out of the way of the user experience on the front end was a top priority of all developers. Every single one that I talked to that was in the Web3 space said, yeah, we need this to be in the background. So gaming is at the forefront here. They are really tucking this behind the scenes, and making it known that that is a top priority is crucial for other industries to follow. Everyone needs to understand that this is going to operate in the background for momentary settlement, like literally seconds. That is it for my video. I hope you guys like it. Slap a like on this video if you like NFTs and you want to see more content around them. I'm really hopeful that these survive and make it over the long haul, but we never know. We will see more as this bull run kicks off, and there are plenty of people still out there holding and in these communities, as you can see from the OpenSea list. And that is it. I will see you here on the next episode of Hack Crypto.